Welcome, ladies and gents, to what'll probably be a shorter series. There are a couple games on my wish list that are free to play, and they are RPGs that I wanted to share with you guys, and I've been meaning to play at some point. So I decided we'd pick up a couple, maybe knock a couple out this weekend, as this is when I'm gonna record a batch of videos or so. So I thought let's start with The Monster Inside Me, an audiovisual novella by Random Seed Games. My head pounded, ears still ringing slightly. Some of the worst nightmares I've had in years left me feeling like I'd be punched in the jaw. But just like any other day, I dragged myself into the office. Ooh. There was another notice on the door from Mayor Venetti's office. Permits out of date. They didn't like me much and were trying to drown me in paperwork. It was a slow month, weeks since I had any real case to work on, so I passed the time pacing the office, smoking and staring at the mirror in the corner, safely covered with an old bedsheet. I don't dare look at my own self-reflection. I'm too afraid of what I might see, afraid someday I might have to face what I really am. The girl came in so quiet, I nearly choked on my cigarette. "Mister, please. You gotta help me, mister." Yeah, very much. Calm down now. Sit and talk slow. Okay, thanks. It's just, no one will listen to me. Just tell me your tale. I'm listening. She eyed me with just a dash of suspicion as I tossed back a handful of pills and chased them with a swig of whiskey. I could tell this might take a while. Her name was Lily. She told me she was his mistress, the man all over the newspapers, the infamous banker, Mr. Reginald Farnsworth. Mr. Farnsworth was a drunk, philandering bastard, but this girl seemed genuinely concerned that he had recently gone missing. Less concerned about the fact that Mr. Farnsworth's wife had just turned up dead in Central Park 2 nights ago. "You don't understand. He just couldn't have done it. He hated his wife, but he wouldn't have killed her. Everyone thinks it was him, and no one believes me. He's gotta be in trouble." "I ain't saying I believe you, but what makes you think he's in danger?" "Well, Mr. Jack. You could call me Jack." "Jack. Whoever did this to his wife must have been the one who took him. He would never have left without me. He promised me." "I'm sure Mr. Farnsworth promised this poor girl a lot of things. Please, the cops won't listen to me and they want to bring him in on charges. You gotta prove it wasn't him before they find him." "Honestly, I doubt they are in too much of a hurry. Farnsworth had practically the entire police force in his deep pockets. Probably why they haven't found much yet. If they found him and brought him in, it would be due to public pressure. Sometimes a mob with pitchforks is more dangerous than one man with money." "You've got my curiosity, but you might not like what I find." "Oh, thank you, mister. Jack, thank you. But please, be careful. I don't think this was just any murderer or kidnapper. I think it was a beast." Beast. The word struck me funny, like when you jar your elbow on a hard corner. Not a word used these days, except in hushed whispers and bedtime stories for children. Oh, they were real enough, alright. They just got better at hiding, controlling their unseemly urges. But I haven't seen any monsters in nearly 15 years. Back when I still was a cop myself. I can help you. We'll get to the bottom of it. Don't you worry now. You seem like the kind of man who's good at solving mysteries. Sure. Can you see see how busy I am with cases? I replied a little too harshly. Sarcasm wasn't my strong suit. I reassured her some more and sent her on her way. I didn't want to scare her, but I warned her before she left to keep her doors locked and call me if she saw anything suspicious. I didn't know if she was in any danger herself, but better safe than sorry. That night, I made my way down to Central Park. It was a long shot, but maybe there was something there the cops had missed. Next chapter. The scene was already picked clean by the cops days ago, but I've got a knack for finding the things overlooked by others. A knack, more of a symptom of condition. Other, less useful symptoms I kept in check, but for the time being, my keen sense of smell would come in handy. It was faint, but I could smell it before I even approached the police line. The scent was less of a thing and more of an emotion. Seduction. A strangely familiar smell. I expected the scent of trepidation, or maybe even outright fear, but Mr. Farnsworth seemed to have been at the height of pleasure when she left this world. Have I been saying Mr. Farnsworth? And you guys are probably already correcting me. Sorry. Mrs. Farnsworth seemed to have been at the height of pleasure when she left this world. Brought new meaning to a crime of passion. Pushing the thought from my mind, it was time to get down to business. Investigate the scene. What's here? Muddy footprints everywhere. Difficult to pick out anything from the prints the cops left behind in their haste. But cops don't wear 2,000 pairs of carquinos. Looked like Mr. Farnsworth was there that night and walked away on his own 2 feet. No, it was Mr. Farnsworth. Mrs. Farnsworth was the one who's dead. That's what it is. Investigate this scene. Trying not to go for the obvious. I know there's claw marks. Nothing else. A burn mark. Ooh, burn mark on a nearby tree caught my eye. I ran my finger along its length and felt a chill down my spine. This wasn't just any burn mark. This was the mark of an ancient magic. It's doubtful the cops would have picked up on it. Could Lily have been right? Something unnatural was at play here. But I was no stranger to the strange. After looking around for a while longer, I realized the park had given up all of its hiding from me. So I trudged back to my apartment, and my head hit my pillow like it owed me money. The next morning, I was reeling from another bout of ghoulish nightmares, but I tried to hide my discomfort when I saw Lily was already sitting outside my office. She waited wordlessly as I unlocked the door and ripped down another notice from the mayor's office. I motioned for her to step aside, seemingly afraid of what I might say. She finally worked up the courage to ask. So, what did you find? Not sure about Beast, but something unnatural is at play. It might be right to worry about much. Well, I've got some good news. Farnsworth might still be alive. Probably shouldn't have given her false hope like that, but she seemed like she needs something to hold on to right then. She didn't need to know about the mark on the tree. Well, I was going to tell her about the tree next. It was just, I thought she would like to know that there's a chance he's still alive. How do you know that? Where is he? Found his footprints. Seems like he got out safely. My tone was indifferent towards her as I turned and grabbed a bottle from my desk drawer. A dryness in my throat made it difficult to swallow my meds. But you don't know where he went? Do you think the news this morning is related? What news is that? Haven't you heard? Nope. Rough night followed by a rough morning. They found the police chief's wife dead down by the docks. They say it happened last night. Let me guess. Chief Amato's missing too? My face might have portrayed a hint of satisfaction as she confirmed my suspicions, but it faded quickly. Amato was a shit cop and a shit chief. He was half the reason I left the force, but now his wife was dead and I had more questions than I did the day before. The gears in my head started to spin, which wasn't helped by the splitting pain at my temples. I told Lily I needed time to work, and she She left slightly dejected, wanting more answers than I could provide. That night, after the cops had cleared out of the docks, I would slip down and see what I could uncover concerning Mr. Motto's untimely demise. These are quick chapters. I also feel like I'm reading like an old-fashioned like comic. Like you get that really, really tone of, it was a day like any other day. The sky was gray, as everything else was. Lost with color. Or I guess it'd be lost with darkness or something. It feels like that. Give me 1 second. I wanna check. Menu, chapters. Oh, is there only 7? Okay, then I guess we could finish this up today. The cold air had smelled strongly of salt and oil, and... Could it be? That smell again. Like someone had bottled pure arousal and used it as a perfume. It hit me like a long-forgotten memory, but this sensual fume soon gave way to a rush of adrenaline. I knew exactly what that scent reminded me of. I was scared. That scared me more than not knowing. I looked down at my hands, shaking. The nightmares, the headaches. No, I was better now. Reformed. I had to focus. No jumping to conclusions. Follow the evidence. What's this? There. Just there. The smallest piece of purple fabric. Torn and caught in the splinter of a board. The police report didn't say anything about Miss Armado's wearing purple. Miss Armado wearing purple. And it was certainly of a quality that you wouldn't expect down here. Don't see too many high society types around flaunting royal purple threads. So there's chains. That's it. Okay. Red Phoenix cigarettes. Same shitty brand I smoke every day. Everyone's got their vice. I pulled out my own pack of reds and lit up. Could already feel another headache coming on. But looking out over the waves seemed to help me forget. The cold helped me push down the uncomfortable thoughts that had been bubbling to the top of my brain. I honestly don't remember the walk back to my office. Apparently I spent the night in my easy chair. The air from the docks lingered on my clothes. It was still dark out. No, I checked the clock. How long had I been out? Had I really slept through the entire next day? A newspaper was sitting under the door. As I stood to fetch it, I nearly fell over. With nausea hit me like a ton of bricks. Is it the girl? Is it Lily? I steadied myself and regained my composure. Before I even picked up the paper, I already read the headline. Breaking. Mayor missing. Wife found dead. 2 cases is a coincidence. 3 is a pattern. The cops would come asking questions soon. They knew I had a history of antagonizing all the victims. I stumbled to my desk and slammed back 3 days' worth of inhibitor pills. I couldn't take any chances. I had to investigate the scene to be sure. I threw on my jacket and went to the door. Lily caught me off guard on the other side. Jack, where are you off to? I've been trying to reach you all day. I'm sorry, Lily, but I don't have time to talk. I have to go. Okay, but we need to talk when you get back. Stay safe. She gave me a soft kiss on the cheek as I washed off. Part of me wanted to stay and tell her it would be okay, but it would have been a lie. The alley was located just behind the high-rise apartments where Mayor Vanetti and his wife lived. I could tell the police were spooked now. The crime scene was even sloppier than the last. They hadn't even bothered to submit the trash into evidence. Why wouldn't they at least look through the dumpster? It seemed untouched. No one wants to do the dirty work. But I know how to find the good stuff. It really doesn't take long, if you know what to look for. Lightweight bags usually mean someone was dumping documents. If you were lucky, they didn't bother to shred them. Jackpot. Shell companies, shady stock trades, bribes. I knew Mayor Vanetti was crooked, but this was unbelievable. And there was more. Letters between Mayor Vanetti and Chief Amato, talking about me. how they were trying to get me shut down. They didn't like me snooping around crime scenes all the time. Well, they weren't here to stop me snooping around this one. Car. Is that it? Benetti's car. If he's still alive, why wouldn't he have left it in his car? It wouldn't make any sense. Honestly, I wasn't too motivated to find him, but the stakes were too high. My bet was edging towards the unthinkable. As I searched around for anything that might assuage my fears, I caught the scent again. I'm going to look up what assuage means. I want to know. Definition of assuage. Make an unpleasant feeling less intense. It overwhelmed my other senses with undulating? I think it's undulating pleasure. It was intoxicating. A weapon used on the weak-willed. A weapon I knew all too well. It had been many years since I had used it. Was there another like me? Was I being framed? It was impossible, was it? I was taking my inhibitors. I was reformed. But the nightmares, the headaches, the memory lapses. Couldn't even trust myself. Started walking back out of the alley when something shiny caught my eye. A watch. Not just any watch, though. My watch. How long had my wrist been bare? Surely I just dropped it when I first came down the alley. I checked the time just before I left the office, hadn't I? Or did I use the wall clock? I couldn't be sure. I couldn't be sure of anything. So I ran. I don't know why I ran back to the office. The cops would probably show up any minute to knock on the door and cart me away. They would put it together before long. Maybe it would be best for everyone if I simply faced my own reflection. But Lily was still there waiting for me. Jack, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. My own ghost. Come back to haunt me from the past. You're not making any sense, Jack. Come, sit down. You don't understand. You're not safe around me. I took a good last look at her as I prepared to shove her out the door. I noticed she was wearing the same thing she had when she first came to office 3 days ago. A beautiful purple dress. Odd, but I hadn't really noticed before. But it made her seem out of place, out of time. And it was frayed around the edges, torn in places. My chair caught my fall as my knees failed me. It was you. You're the monster. Succubus. Oh, Jack, we are one and the same, you and I. We're both monsters. I'm simply more honest with myself. There's no such thing as reformation. Those pills you take only make you dull. Beasts like you, beasts like us, should never suppress our new nature, as you have incubus. Those men were probably dead too, now I figured. She probably took them to her lair and harvested their seed. So you've done all this just to wake me up? You could say that. Though it seemed enough just to have you doubt yourself. You believe you were still capable of such horrors. Which means deep down you probably are. You can't escape it. Now I need you to complete the deed. You took my watch. Messed with my head. Oh, don't act like that. Don't act like I didn't do you a favor. Those men hated you and wanted you gone. And now, they're gone. I mustered the strength to stand again, moving casually to the window by the corner. She's right about one thing. I was dull, weak compared to her. If I refused her and she attacked me, I was a dead man. I had to keep her talking. I've never met a succubus who seduces and kills women. Oh, please. Such a 14th century stereotype. I don't discriminate when it comes to pleasure of the flesh. But I do still need an incubus like yourself to take the tainted seed I've harvested from those awful men and plant it among the fertile masses. I'm tired of draining my lovers just to survive. I'm ready to settle down and start a family. The maniacal laughter. I positioned myself carefully, making sure she was looking my direction. Sorry, but I'm not your guy. With a quick flick of my wrist, I whipped the old bedsheet off the corner mirror. Lou was blinded by her own reflection and sucked into the mirror with a painful, monstrous scream. Trapped. Shielding my own eyes, I pulled a revolver from my desk side drawer, aimed it at the mirror, and fired. Story and programming by Tyler Owen. Art by Doug Arubach. Music and sound effects by Clark Abound. Huh. Well, that was The Monster Inside. That was a lot quicker than I thought it would be, but I'm glad that I could get it done in one quick sitting. I do hope you all enjoyed. I'm glad to get this game finally in my library and off my wish list because it's a game that I need to play. And there will probably be a couple more quick games that, 1 or 2 sessions just to start cleaning out my wish list. You would not believe how long it is. There are a bunch of games I need to play. My wish list does not help. I hope you all enjoyed, as usual. I do look forward to seeing you in the next video, stream, messaging, call, whatever it may be. And until next time, do take care.